I was acquainted with European funding and European funds for technology development. And it was very frustrating because I would see people with great ideas that were looking for funding, and it was just so complicated to prepare all the documentation. It was a back and forth that could go for up to 6 months, a year. To write this program, you needed to pay an advisor, and at the end of the day, after all of this, you wouldn't get anything. And then I discovered fundraising in Web3, which by no means it's easy, but it definitely has a way less bureaucratic work if compared to traditional funding. So one thing that for me is very good with on-chain grants is that they not only provide with capital, so they will not only give you money, do your thing, and you're good to go. Many of them will give you also technical mentorship, community exposure, and tooling. Because without a good business model, without a good vision for what you want to do, and at the end of the day, how are you going to make your project profitable, then yes, you will get funding, but then at the end of the day, maybe your project will die. So technical mentorship, I think, and also marketing mentorship and launch pads, all type of similar projects are really, really valuable and quite widespread around the ecosystem. So let's say that you decide, okay, oh, this looks a bit off, but you decide, okay, I need funding for my project. Where do I start? Because the first thing you will do, you're going to probably type in grant funding, Web3 grant funding, and you're going to see these astronomical numbers of different protocols, different blockchains that say, we offer, I don't know, $50 million in funding for new projects in Web3. I would say don't get overwhelmed by the amount of funding there is, and also don't fall for the big numbers. Just be very realistic with what you want to do, and make sure that the money that you are asking for is coming from an aligned source, a source that is aligned with your project and with your goals. So when you look for funding, I would first go, as a grants manager, I would look for the funding scope and size. Normally, when funding is publicized, they will showcase the total pool. But then at the end of the day, you need to be very careful. There's some limitations to it, and most grants have a cap. So there is no way that one project will bring home $15 million. Well, I haven't found any yet, but just make sure that the cap that you are going to be applying for, the grant you're going to be applying for, will give you enough funding to actually fulfill the milestones you are going to promise, because at the end of the day, it's also part of your reputation. So first of all, yeah, we check the total funding, the per project caps. After we've done that, we always check the rolling basis grants and time-limited rounds. Now, I have a strong preference for time-limited rounds, just because the rolling-based grants can be a bit wishy-washy. Like, they say, oh, we have funding. You might hear back from us in 3 weeks, maybe 3 months, maybe never. But when there is a deadline, you have a clear expectation, okay, I will hear from this program on the 21st of June, and by, I don't know, the 1st of July, I will have the funds in my wallet so I can actually start building. And it's not this endless cycle of writing a grant, not knowing when they'll come back, and then your project gets delayed, and then the team doesn't have funding. It's, for me, I would absolutely go for the time-limited rounds. And then, as I said before, if you can also get ecosystem support for your project, like mentorship, I think that's way more valuable. Funds are very valuable, but the shared knowledge of the community and also exposure for your projects will bring you way more than just funding in the long run, of course. Okay, so there are some interesting platforms and tools that have been used in the past months for fundraising. And some of them are new, some of them are OGs, but I put here a mix of them. So maybe you heard about Give It. So whenever I hear about a new project, I have a friend of mine here that has a project that just started. If it's a public goods project, if it's something that will really benefit the community, or it can be also, real world project. Right now, yeah, there are all types of things happening in the world. And if you go to Give It, you will find a lot of initiatives you can support. It's a platform that enables donations in that basically you get 100% of the donation. So, and you can see where your donation is going. And you can also see that, you know, oh, this project with my funding, they did this and this and this. There is a whole give economy that I will not explain right now. But I think Give It is a great platform if you have an idea, you don't have a lot yet, but you think that the community will support your idea and you can start your project there. You can start fundraising. It's like a GoFundMe, but for Web3. And a cool thing about Give It is that periodically they also organize quadratic funding rounds. And these rounds are normally sponsored by bigger blockchains. Normally, we are talking about $50,000 rounds where projects join, apply to join, and then basically for every donation, they get a portion of the matching pool calculated through quadratic funding, to the quadratic formula. So at the end of the day, a $1 donation can bring you, I don't know, up to $10 or $20, which is very nice. And the community really comes together during these quadratic funding rounds. Everybody's trying to, you know, get more donations, ship more, create more. So if you didn't know about Give It, I think you can start looking into it if you have a fresh new project. Gitcoin grants. I will not say too much about it. It's been here forever. This has been the first fundraising platform that I've been using since Gitcoin Grants 13. I don't even know. I think we are Gitcoin Grants 21 or 22 right now. The number is the number of the rounds, quadratic funding rounds they've been doing. They happen, I think, every 3 months, 3 to 4 months. Then you apply with your project. They have a huge match funding pool, QF rounds, and it's just, I think it's different from Give It because Give It enables you to have a project there all the time. Gitcoin Grants goes more in waves, but if you are looking for another option to fundraise, to kickstart the fundraising for your project, Gitcoin Grants is the OG here. Then something very fresh that actually started 3 months ago, I would say, is Gitcoin Gardens. And it looks very cute because you can, if you have a community, if you have a project, and you would like to basically start a fundraising campaign for aligned projects with your project, you can set up your own matching pool. You can set up your own criteria. You can set up your own way of accepting projects, your own way of disbursing the funds. And it's very nice because you can set up basically everything. So in this, here you can participate as a grantee, but also you can participate as also a grant allocator. So in case, and we don't have to talk about millions, like if you want to just award contributions from your community, I think Gitcoin Gardens is something worth looking into. And then a very cool one that also started not so long ago. It was started by the team behind the Valora wallet, that is the main wallet on Celo. And what they're doing is basically you have builders that when they reach certain milestones, like here I put transactions and fees or whatever milestone the reward allocator wants to set. When these milestones are reached, there is a smart contract that will allocate rewards for builders. So you don't have the whole pain of having to write a grant, having to, you know, promise milestones. When you achieve a milestone, if you have DV integrated, then you will just get rewards based on that. It's a very fresh project. I think they just started out. So if you don't want to miss on this opportunity, it's a good starting point as well. Specifically, if you already have a working product that has already been launched, that has already, some transactions, some volume, some users, that's worth looking into. And then before I was talking about Gitcoin grants, and as a new grantee, or if you're looking towards participating in Gitcoin grants, for example, this is a tool you cannot miss. And what I see normally also with some of our clients at General Magic, people come to the point where, oh, we want to apply for Gitcoin grants. We don't have a karma gap. So they will stay up late for days building their Karma Gap, but Karma Gap is not meant to be built in a day. It's basically like a portfolio of everything you have done, of all the impact you have created. And this is specifically good for, I would say, regenerative finance projects that sometimes lack some measuring of the success, measuring of the result, and measuring of all the work they do. So if you are thinking, one day I want to fundraise, having a Karma Gap account, I think it's very, very useful. They also integrate a lot of other tools like Divi, which we mentioned before. They have the proof of ship, and they're also trusted by many others. So they've been a key part for being admitted to Gitcoin grants, for example. So if you don't have a Karma Gap, there's a very, you will not be admitted to many funding rounds. So think about Karma Gap. And then one that is a bit dear to my heart, because it also comes from the family of Givet and General Magic, is dVouch. So if you are acquainted with the Optimism retrofunding, but in general also with all types of grants allocation, this is a great platform where people that trust your project and that have seen what your project is capable of, basically they can vouch for you. They can say, oh, these guys are legit, like they're not like a scam, and they're really doing the thing. And the way the vouching works is basically your vouch will be stronger if your profile is stronger, like if you're an Optimism delegate or if you have a Gitcoin passport that has a high score. So basically you're just saying, I trust this project and I know that they will do good. And this is very useful for grants allocators, because then you can discern between projects that are being flagged, because you can also flag projects that are red flags, not doing anything, not doing much. And it helps specifically when the decision is being made about where do we want to allocate the funds. So you can put your project on dVouch. You can go ask your community, hey, you've seen what we've done. Can you please vouch for me? And then one day you can use that also in your fundraising campaign. I think it's a good platform, very easy to use. So I would say yes. Okay, so this part is a little bit more focused on AI grant programs, just because lately the majority of grants we've been working on at General Magic have been AI focused. And I think that if you have a project, you probably have an AI component in it. Either if you want it or not, you probably should. And I think I'm going to give you just skim through a lot of different grant programs. And if you want, you can take a picture, or if any of these aligns with your own project, it can be useful because they have good funding. You need to have an AI component, but at the same time, you might also get good funds to kickstart your project. So the first one is Arbitrum Foundation. They have a Trailblazer AI program. This Trailblazer word reminds me of ChatGPT, but yeah, well, they have a 1 million total pool. This is what we saw before, and then you can get up to 10K for your project, but it has already to be launched on Arbitrum, and it has to have an AI agent integrated. And they normally they go on a rolling basis, like they announce different rounds, so you can stay up to date about them on their Arbitrum Foundation website. Then if you're a fan of Avalanche, they also do have an InfraBuild AI program, and basically they have pitch events, which is great because you can also sense the interest of the Avalanche community in what you want to build or what you already built. So basically you can go on their website, find out about these pitch events. I think they happen every 2 weeks. I'm not very sure. I know they had one at the beginning of June. And these are more for like AI-powered developer tools, autonomous on-chain agents, and they have a 15 million total pool. So if you are yeah, a fan of Avalanche. This is a good one. Polygon community grants, the AI track, they have multiple tracks. So this is if you want to also look into other opportunities, if you're not really a fan of AI, they have just an array of a lot of different opportunities and a lot of different grant pools. I think the most impressive thing is that they want to allocate 1 billion POL over 10 years, which is 100 million per year, which is quite impressive. So I think they will have funding. You can also look into the long run. And something I didn't mention before, it's very good if you start small. So don't overpromise or I wouldn't personally ask for funding for my whole project. I would do something small. I would ask for a 5K, 10K, 15, 20, 30K grant, 35 tops. Do something with it. Become familiar with the grant allocator. And then the grant allocator will be more favorable to giving more funding to you, which is very logical, but sometimes people ask for 100K and then they're like, we don't know you guys, so no. Lightchain has also a grant opportunity. It's a bit smaller, like they will allocate up to 5K per team, but the good part is that they have the technical mentorship and the co-marketing, and trust me, when you're a new project and you have 1 follower on X, and nobody knows about you, having some community support is very nice. Cadena has also some millions for you. If you are more into regenerative finance, real-world assets, tokenization, and yeah, if you're more into the regenerative part of Web3, I think Cadena can be interesting. Then for the fans of Internet Computer, they have the DAI grant program. They have also other grant programs, but this, for example, here an interesting thing is that we can see that the grant review lasts for 4 to 6 months, and I will give you a tip. When you see something like this, I would personally look for a contact directly with the grants team, the team who is evaluating the grants, just so you know, after a week or two, hey, where are we standing? Can we provide more information? Do you maybe want to call? Do you maybe want to ask some more things regarding our application? I would definitely do that. And specifically with rolling basis grants. Solana, also they have AI grants and partnerships. They have an estimated timeline that it's much quicker. I'm not sure about how much they are allocating, but if you are looking into grants that might not be as explored as the other that we mentioned, like Arbitrum and Polygon, Solana can also be a good ally, specifically if you're already building on Solana. And then some best practices after all these grant opportunities. Now that you have decided that you're going to ask for $1 million for your project, one very important thing before you start filling in the application, make sure to read the criteria. Sometimes they have a specific way of you writing about the milestones. Sometimes they want to know exactly some specific information. Just make sure to read the criteria. This is mistake number 1. Make sure to have clear milestones. Make sure you can deliver on the milestones. Make sure you have a dev who will deliver what you're promising, because even if you get 5K and you don't deliver, it's going to hurt your reputation. You don't want that. And you will drag that in all the other projects you work in. Then leverage the community, come to ETH Cluj, go to ETH Cannes, go to different events, talk about your project, meet the grant allocators, hack there, do whatever it takes to actually build a community for yourself. And I would say that many programs require a code to be publicly available. It has happened to me one time that we wrote the whole grant and then the GitHub was private and the code was not public, which is a waste of time. So again, read your criteria. So you can bookmark everything that I said before. You can also, I don't know if the slides are going to be available somewhere, maybe yes, maybe no. And if you have any questions, then I'm happy to answer. But that was it. I think we are on time. Yes. Good. Thank you. Nice. Maybe I have a question for you. Did you apply for any grants recently? and you were successful. You did?
Yeah.
What for?
For IFLUJ conference.
You applied to the ecosystem support program?
Yes, we applied to ESP.
Okay. How did it go?
Went pretty smooth. They're actually processing pretty well and have a good process in there.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's probably different as opposed to the grants that you talked about, which are for projects. And,
Exactly. Yes.
stuff and things like that.
Very good. Well, it's nice because I see they're supporting many new projects, so this is great to see from their side. Yeah. Well, I think I can turn it off. Yes.
Did you find the...
Yeah, yeah, it's underneath. Yes.
We have to run to the panel.
You can turn the fan. Tuck. This was fast. No, it's okay. I have the questions ready. Well, thank you very much. Nice to see. I know your face. I know you.